Alright guys, welcome back for another Dokkan Battle video, and today what I have for you guys is the showcase for the LR Prime Battle Frieza EZA. Now, Frieza is fully maxed out, super attack level 25 out of 25. As you can see, he's fully EZA'd, his passive, of course, is all maxed out. Just to quickly touch on his hidden potential system, I went full additionals for him. That is because, again, on his 12 key, he greatly raises attack and defense. So, of course, with having, maybe 100 plus K defense, if this Frieza gets a double super, he's going to be at around maybe 150 K defense. So he's going to be very good, both offensive and defensively. No equips on him. Again, I don't use equipment when doing, first showcases for units. And then in terms of links, I did go ahead and, farm up his links a little bit. They're all, level 5, 6s, and 7s. And then, of course, these are his categories. I'm going to be showcasing him on 4 of these categories. I'm not going to showcase him on Planet Namek Saga just because, again, this team really needs to be a little bit more fleshed out. There are a ton of units that they still could add to the category. But as you can see, most of them are like SSRs, rares, and then SRs. So, this team does have potential, the Planet Namek Saga. And, this Frieza is a huge addition to it, but it just needs a little bit more units to really kind of flush it out and make it much better. And then Inhuman Deeds is the same story. It's a decent category. It does have some very, very good units on it. But it still just needs a little bit more. But with this Frieza now on that category team, it's going to be a huge, huge buff to it. So we're going to be showcasing him on the Transformation Boost, Terrifying Conquers, Dragon Ball Seekers, and then I believe it's Wicked Bloodline. So let's go ahead and let's hop right into our first team. Alright guys, so we're here on our first team. We are going to start off on the Dragon Ball Seekers team. Now, of course, we have Demon Goddess Toa here, who is giving, I believe, let me quickly remind myself, 3 key and 30% attack and defense to all allies. Now, Frieza here is at 111k defense. It's actually, no, let me do math right now. Yeah, 111k defense. I'm losing my mind. Anyways, so really, really good start of turn defense. Now, of course, Frieza on his 12 key greatly raises attack and defense, but on his 18 key, all he does is greatly lower attack. So what we're going to do is we are going to go for the 18 key for sure. I have some key up items here as well. So he gets 3 key when he super attacks a super class enemy, which of course this Goku and Vegeta are. Now that should be enough. Yep, because they're going to get 3 key when they super. And then, of course, LRB, Pan, Trunks, and then Kid Goku are the leaders for the Dragon Ball Seekers team. 4 key, 170% to all stats. So, I actually did manage to find a friend, LR Goku, Trunks, and Pan, or LR GT Trio, and Frieza's at 4.6 million. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good attack stat, turn 1. And I remind you guys that Frieza was only getting Legendary Power and Fierce Battle, because Demon Goddess Toa doesn't share links with Frieza. We have to keep that in mind. Alright, so we're going to let this rotation play out and look at the LR GT Trio. I mean, it's really easy to super attack with them, and it's actually super hard not to. Because again, the LR GT Trio, don't sleep on that unit. That unit is very, very good. And they're at 1.2 million. That's mine, by the way. And I have actually not invested any super attack fodder into them. They're, 1 out of 20. So they put up a 1.2 million attack stat. Super attack level 1 out of 20. So, don't sleep on this unit. This unit is very, very impressive. I actually wouldn't mind doing a showcase on them, but I am trying to save up like all my Elder Kais and all that, and Frieza, please don't kill them. Oh, well, they're basically dead. That Frieza unit's very good. Free to play, by the way, and so is B-Pan. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, most of this team is free to play. Okay, so we do want to get B-Pan on a rotation, and then we'll switch on to our next team, but this should be an interesting rotation as well. Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, almost every single unit here is free to play. Except for Toa, and then of course the leader, which is the LR. And look at this key. It's so easy to super attack. So, Legendary Power and Thirst for Conquest. That's what... Oh, Demon Goddess Toa has Thirst for Conquest. Alright, so we're going to keep Frieza in the middle. I don't want to rotate off Demon Goddess Toa. And Frieza should be able to get a free 18, no, not 18, but 24 key here as well. And then we might as well just go all out with Demon King Piccolo. I mean, there's no way, this Vegito might survive. I mean, Frieza could easily crit and just absolutely demolish him. But, you know, we'll see. Alright, so this should be around the same attack stat. Just because, again, the GT Trio, yep, 4.61, were given legendary power to Frieza last turn. So yeah, I mean, Frieza at a very consistent almost 5 million. And then he got an additional super attack, so his defense is at around maybe 150k here. And this is good to see. How much will he tank? 27k, that's very, very impressive. Type disadvantage, 27k, pretty good. That is actually very impressive by Frieza there. Alright, and then next turn, so this turn and the next turn, let's finish it off here. And we should be able to then get our final rotation on this team. And then, of course, we'll head on over to the next one. Now, the LRGT Trio, again, they raise their defense by 50% on their 24 key super attack, as well as their 18 key. And then on their 12 key, they raise it by 30%. So, you know, if you do have this unit, you know, the GT Trio is a very, very good defensive unit as well. I always like to remind people, especially when we're talking about units that are slept on, that GT Trio for sure is one of them. Because, again, no one runs them in the friend system, and it actually took me quite a bit to actually find a friend. So we're over 100k defense, as usual. We only have Thirst for Conquest. Of course, legendary power activates when we, you know, get a super attack. So that's why it is not active right there. And there we go. Now it should be active. We have full 24 key. So needless to say, this should do a lot of damage. Hopefully, if Demon Goddess Toa gets knocked under 50% HP, you know, right here, she does give an additional buff to extreme class allies. So if she gets supered, and she dodged, and 6 million. 6 million with only 2 links active. We did not even have big bad bosses. Nor Metamorphosis, Thirst for Conquest, and all of those links. So, pretty good showcase by Frieza right there. 6 million. That's pretty good. Alright, so we are now going to switch over to another team. But I think before we do that, I do want to get in this attack stat by Demon King Piccolo. Just because, again, Demon King Piccolo, I rarely get to ever see him transform, just because, again, his conditions for his transformation is so limited. You have to be either fighting a Dragon Ball Seekers or a Dragon Ball Saga category enemy, and then he instantly transforms. Or you have to wait till turn 7. So we're just gonna get this attack stat by him. And then, of course, we saw it 1.6. Of course, he would be much more impressive if he had another, you know, Demon King Piccolo or old Demon King Piccolo with him. So, you know, once this is done, we're just going to go over to the next team, and we'll showcase Frieza over there. Alright, guys, so we are here on Cooler's team. So I decided to actually combine Transformation Boost and then Terrifying Conquerors together. That is because I do want to showcase Frieza on Inhuman Deeds. I did end up wanting to do that. Just because, again, Transformation Boost and Terrifying Conquerors, of course, there are different units on each team, but most of the units that I was going to run anyways were basically on the same, you know, tags, both being on Transformation Boost and Terrifying Conquerors. So, of course, the build that we have here, we brought Turles, we brought the free-to-play Golden Frieza, of course, Demon Goddess Toa, and then Mecha Frieza and King Cold to get legendary power for Frieza. So this is our first turn, pretty good. This Golden Frieza gives a 30% attack buff to extreme class allies upon super attack. So, of course, we're going to get that in the video. And then we're going to use some key up items just so that Frieza is at that 24 key super attack, just to see what kind of numbers, of course, Frieza's going to put up. And then Turles, we all know how amazing Turles is with giving all allies, I believe it is 2 or 3 key. I should probably have that memorized by now, but I'm pretty sure he gives 2 key, and then, of course, that 40% attack to extreme class allies, and then this is a 60% attack buff right there, so right off the bat at 6 million. I did not actually check Frieza's links, which is my bad, but I'm pretty sure Frieza is going to have things like Fierce Battle, probably Thirst for Conquest, and all of those great links. Now, this is the tricky part. I don't want to kill most of these enemies, just because, again, I do want... yeah, Cooler's at 134k. I do want to get an attack stat by Frieza with Cooler's buff active, because, again, he buffs Terrifying Conquerors with 50% attack and defense. So, for sure, I want to keep as many of these guys alive as possible. If we can do that, hopefully, you know, we don't absolutely crush this Dokkan event, because, again, this is the biggest issue now, I would say, with these units, especially when it comes to a unit like Frieza, where Frieza just one-shots everything. Alright, so Cell is not going to be killed on this rotation. That's good. Demon Goddess Toa is not going to be able to kill one of the Cell Juniors either. And there she is. Wow, 1.7. That's actually much higher than she's usually at. Alright, so she didn't do that much damage. That's good. Alright. And then this Cooler, 55% as well. I purposely brought a 55% Cooler just so that, you know, we're not demolishing this event. And then we're going to be able to get Legendary Power active. Let's actually see what our linkage. So we have everything except Big Bad Bosses and Metamorphosis. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to do this just so that we can get Big Bad Bosses. Because for sure, Mecha Frieza and King Cold are going to take damage. They're not a very tanky unit. So they're going to attack Cell. Cell's basically dead at this point. So we might as well just go for this Cell Jr. right here. And then this Frieza can attack this STR Cyberman. Or not Cyberman, but Cell Jr. Alright, so not going as I planned. They're unfortunately going to lower his attack. Okay, so we didn't even super them. Okay, we do need to take some damage, and we're at 4.4. Again, we are a little lower because, again, Golden Frieza did not give the attack buff, and we were at 6 million last turn because, again, Frieza double supered for us. So that's, you know, a 60% attack buff. And then Frieza's numbers are not very high, which is good. And we should be able to survive this turn. Let's see if Turles can get mollywopped here. Because, again, Turles' defense, 90, oh, almost 100k, but then again, he is drenched in support. We're going to go ahead and kill Cell, and then, of course, we'll continue with, you know what, let's go type neutral, and then we should have a Cooler on next rotation. We should have almost literally everything active except Big Bad Bosses. He's stunned. Oh, so we are going to get supered here. If we didn't have so much support, Turles could get hit with a lot more. Can you? Yeah, only 2,000. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. So looks like we're not gonna be able to get Big Bad Bosses active. That's why, you know, you really want to get Big Bad Bosses to level 10 links for that very reason right there. Because again, if you don't fall under that HP threshold, Big Bad Bosses does not activate. And thank God there's at least 2 enemies. So Frieza's at 117k defense. Now it's 123k. Again, we have everything except Big Bad Bosses. Now with Big Bad Bosses, I would say Frieza would jump up to maybe 140, 150k defense if we had Big Bad Bosses active. So we're gonna go for the super on you. And then this is gonna be a full 24k super attack. Actually, no, because again, Frieza only gets the 3 key when he's fighting Extreme, or not Extreme, but Super Class. And then, of course, we'll just let Mecha Frieza and King Cold have their 24 key. And then we're going to move on to the next team, actually, after this. I just really wanted to get the attack stat with Cooler on his Terrifying Conquerors buff. And there Frieza is at 6 million. So, you know, Frieza very consistently is going to be at around 6 million. 6 million crit. Then Mecha Frieza and King Cold at 2.8. They're only 55%. Though I probably should buy their dupes and maybe do a showcase on them. So that was LR Prime Battle Frieza on Transformation Boost / Terrifying Conquerors. I believe that's probably going to be the highest attack stat. Of course, you can get higher I know The Truth did like a video, but again, The Truth is on his JP account, so he's got like full level 10 links. You know, he's got Bojack and all those other ridiculous units. So now we're gonna move on to the Wicked Bloodline team and check out what LR Prime Battle Frieza can do over there. Alright guys, so just before I decided to go ahead and switch to, you know, the Wicked Bloodline team, I did want to get this rotation in, just because again, you know, LR Prime Battle Frieza jumped up to 135k defense. Of course, that is with Demon Goddess Toa on rotation. So we're just going to quickly get this attack stat by Frieza, see what number he puts up. Links, again, we're just missing Big Bad Bosses, Legendary Power, and Fear and Faith. Legendary Power, of course, gives an attack buff upon super attack, but I'm not really worried about Fear and Faith. You know, Fear and Faith just like really lowers the enemy's defense, which honestly is not very impactful. But there, Frieza is at 5.8, so again, Prime Battle Frieza, if you don't have him, you know, full level 10 links, is going to be at around a 6 million attack stat. So anyways, just a quick little sidetrack that I decided to do. Now let's go ahead to the Wicked Bloodline team. Alright guys, so we are here on the Wicked Bloodline team, obviously led by AGL Metal Cooler, which by the way, I'm gonna beg Dokkan to do this, but please give us another Wicked Bloodline category leader. No one runs AGL Metal Cooler. It took me quite a while to actually get a friend here, and even then, only at 55. Whoa, well, that's mine. Only at 55%, which, I mean, I can't really talk after showing that literally mine is super attack level 1 out of 1, 1 out of 10. But, yeah, we need another leader for this team, so Frieza is at 111k defense. That is really the range that we're going to see him in, unless, of course, you get the major links like Big Bad Bosses, and you get Cooler to get his Terrifying Conquers buff to Frieza. Of course, Frieza's only getting the transformation boost buff from Cooler right now. So, you know, we should be able to see some decent attack stats from Frieza. Again, Frieza's going to be at around that 5-6 million attack stat range, especially when he's doing his 24 key and 18 key, just because, again, Frieza... Okay, so just under 5 million. But again, Frieza gets an extra 50% attack when doing an Ultra Super Attack, which, you know, factors in differently when we're talking about, you know, either start of turn buffs or buffs upon Super Attack. Alright, I'm going to float off Mecha Freezing King Cold, just because, again, we want to get that Legendary Power link. Legendary Power, of course, Super Attack, gives attack upon Super Attack. Need to get my words straight. But, yeah, I mean, that link does do an immense change in damage, you know, especially when it comes to LRs. You know, damage difference is absolutely astounding, especially when it comes to Frieza, because we saw Frieza under 5 million there, but I'm pretty sure if we get Legendary Power to activate, it's going to jump up way, way higher. Alright, so we're still at 111k defense. Again, all we're missing is Big Bad Bosses and Legendary Power, but other than that, we have every single other link. Now let's go ahead, and you know what, let's do a 12 key super attack, just because, again, I've always just done 18 key super attacks and higher. Now we'll take a look at what Frieza can do when he only has his 12 key super attack. And, alright, let's tank this with Cooler. That's nothing. And then Frieza is at 2.2 million, but again, not as much damage, but again, he is raising his defense. So he was at around 160k defense. Alright, we should be able to blitz right through this. I don't want to kill Goku off just yet, just because, again, all these Frieza Cooler units, they do a lot of damage, especially... I would say that second form free-to-play Frieza actually does a lot of damage. I took him into Extreme Physical Super Battle Road once just because, you know, like, why not? And he actually dominated pretty heavily. Like, he would just get, like, 2 super attacks, he would AoE, he would crit, and he would just absolutely tear things apart. Alright, and then we have everything again except Big Bad Bosses. We're going to keep Cooler on rotation, of course. Cooler is going to be the best friend to this Frieza. Easily the unit you want to run with Frieza, because they're going to share everything, of course, except Legendary Power and Fear and Faith. Again, with Big Bad Bosses being the main link between them that you really want to get to level 10. And there you go. Again, Frieza's damage just jumps up with the legendary power link. He's at 5.5. And before we saw him at much higher key, barely at 4.8. But yeah, Frieza's damage does really jump when you have that, that legendary power link active. And here we are getting some good link level right there. And so we're going to now head on over to our last team before the breakdown portion of the video. And actually, you know what? We're not going to do that. I know I said I was going to do, Frieza on Inhuman Deeds. But now thinking about it, there's probably not going to be not only an Inhuman Deeds friend, but Inhuman Deeds is only 130% team. And you're probably really not going to run, Frieza on that team. So now this is going to be the breakdown portion of the video. So let's just hop right into it. So Frieza is Extreme Class 4 key 90% to stats, and then Super Class 3 key 70% to stats. And then his Super Attack, his 12 key Death Ball, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. And then his Ultra Super Attack, the Imperial Conquest, does mega colossal damage and greatly lowers attack and defense. So that 18 key is going to be very effective in Super Battle Road as well as Extreme Super Battle Road. Of course, if you're taking him into Extreme Super Battle Road, you do want to get big bad bosses to level 10. And then again, the greatly lowering attack and defense is going to be very effective because again, I believe he lowers the attack for more than 1 turn, maybe 2 or 3 turns is usually how that effect goes. And then his passive, he gets attack and defense plus 50% at the start of turn. He gets 3 key and 50% defense as the first or third attacker in a turn. And then he gets an additional 50% attack when performing an Ultra Super Attack. Of course, that's why you want to go full 18 key with him. And then he gets an additional 3 key when attacking Super Class allies. Or not allies, but enemies. Gotta stop mixing that up together. And then for his hidden potential, I went full additional. That's what I would recommend with you guys. Just go full additional with this Frieza. That is the best way to go. Because again, if you're able to get that, that 12 key, he's not only going to have ridiculous defense, but he's also going to do an insane amount of damage as a result of getting 2 super attacks off. No equips, level 5, 6, and 7 links. And then, of course, these are the teams that he's on. We saw him on Transformation Boost / Terrifying Conquerors, just because, again, most of the units that I brought were, on both of those teams either way. We saw him on Wicked Bloodline, Dragon Ball Seekers, and I didn't decide to do Inhuman Deeds. Again, just going back to my original reasoning is, there's not a whole lot of, Frieza units that you can properly run with him. This Frieza's okay, but again, no defense. The only really good Frieza on this team is this Int Frieza, as well as the second form Frieza. But again, this second form Frieza does lack defense at some points. And then, of course, this Golden Frieza. He's a decent free-to-play unit, but I would love if he got an EZA. So again, that was LR Prime Battle Frieza. Overall, I would say absolutely worthy unit to grind out. I know it seems like a lot if we go over here. I can't lie to you guys. I think I got rid of all the units that oh yeah, I replaced it with EZA units, but all of them should be here. Alright, let's quickly go down there. I know it's a lot of units to grind, like this Goku, Krillin, Bardock, it is a lot of grinding, but at the end of the day, I think it's really worth it, especially if you're a free-to-play player. Frieza is just insanely good. He does ridiculous amounts of damage. We saw him at a consistent 6 million attack stat when you get his 24 key super attack. So, Frieza overall is just an amazing unit, and he's going to age really well. And again, I actually used him in slot 2 for most of the fights, but again, slot 1, he gets an extra 50% defense, so just keep that in mind. Which is my bad. I forgot that part. You have to have him in the first slot to get that extra 3 key and 50% to defense. My bad. But you know what? I think I'll put, after I'm done with the introduction, just a little clip of Frieza in the first slot with, Cooler, with the Terrifying Conquerors buff, because I forgot that Frieza gets that defense when he's in the first slot. So, I didn't even do him fully justice in this video because I forgot about that. So, anyways, guys, that is going to do for today's video. My final thoughts, very simply, farm up Frieza. Frieza's absolutely worth it. Frieza's an absolutely disgusting monster. He's going to help you in, Super Battle Road stages. The only thing that I would tell you is just, you know, get his Big Bad Boss's link to level 10, which is going to be very hard. You know, by no means is it going to be a very easy thing to do. You know, I barely have it at level 5, and I've been, you know, farming up this Frieza's links for a while now. So, like I said before, that is going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.